Hello and welcome to the Rays Glaze episode 2. By the way, degenerate myself and Drew back again. Did you see this logo, Drew?
It looks great. It looks great. And for those wondering, the reason why this doesn't go live like your stream is just because it'll break the algorithm just because we have so many views talking about the Rays.
Yeah, we don't want to. Yeah, right. We don't want to interrupt. It would shut the world down. Everybody would have to stop working, and productivity would go to an all-time low, like the Masters. So, opening weekend in the books, Series 1 down for our beloved Tampa Bay Rays, who are finally playing in Tampa at Steinbrenner Stadium in 3 consecutive sellouts. Before we talk about the 2-1 series victory against the Colorado Rockies, because I have some thoughts. I'm sure you do too. We'll kind of touch on each game briefly with some highlights, lowlights. I'm seeing Rays Twitter tweet about the attendance, which they do for every game, and saying that it's a sellout, which is great. And it sounds really nice. If you look at the comments, it's a lot of mean people replying and basically saying, it's a minor league park. It's only 10,000 seats. I'd hope you can sell it out. Is it something that the Rays can hang their hat on or no?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too.
I mean, listen, there's a lot of things to do down here. So, yeah, why not take advantage and try to, show that you're filling to capacity while you can. I'm hoping all the games are, if not sellouts, close to sellouts until we get to like July.
Yeah, until the heat is
I mean,
excruciating.
I think this week is going to be a good test because you got games Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday during the day against the Pirates. I'm not concerned
Right.
about when they're playing teams like the Red Sox or the Yankees or even the Blue Jays or the Tigers. Those should sell it easily, but like when you're playing teams like the Pirates and Rockies, you worry a little bit just because they're not going to bring any opposing fans.
So I heard some people I follow and they're Yankees fans. They were talking about they do an MLB recap and they were talking about the game. They had nothing but good things to say about the Rays, but they did say they thought that the stadium just looked weird. And I think somebody described it as charming. I don't know if it was Manfred or something like that. And then Jeff Passan had a funny comeback, which is very accurate. And he said real estate agents tell you something's charming when it's like
when it's small, yeah.
Very true.
But you know what? I mean, on local radio, to Tampa radio, people were loving it.
I loved it.
They said it was great. And I seen that clip of Taj Bradley saying that you could hear chirping loud and clear. So it's a very unique experience. Where else are you going to be able to go and chirp a professional athlete that close outside of, I guess, if you sit courtside at an NBA game?
Yeah. I loved it. All right, so let's get into the first game. We've got who did we have? We had Freeland, a fucking Freeland masterclass. Kyle Freeland pitched for the Rockies against our guy Ryan Pepiot, my Cy Young winner, my over Ks season-long bet, 150.5, and I went right out of the gate over 6.5 Ks. Or no, I'm sorry, maybe it was 5.5. And he ended with 8. So stat line real quick, the Rays win this game 3-2. Freeland, 6 innings, 2 hits, 0 earned runs, 7 Ks. We'll talk about him in a second. And Pepiot, 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 8 Ks. Pretty impressive stuff from both sides. But Drew, Freeland had like 50 pitches through 5 innings.
Yeah, he was wheeling and dealing. I mean, look, it's first game of the year. They got the win. That's all that matters. They got the win. First game of the year. Pepiot looked good. I mean, I don't have not much to say outside of that ending moment when Mr. Minsner came out of nowhere and saved the day and hit the game-winning home run. Quite the moment for somebody who's a career minor leaguer.
Cameron Misner comes in. His first big league hit is a walk-off home run. I think that was the first time in MLB history.
Had to be, yeah.
Pretty cool. And I think we have to give a shout out to, let's see, who else showed up for the Rays? Not really. Everybody had one hit.
Really? I mean, the pitching was fantastic, but from a position player standpoint, nothing really. They were kind of lucky to win the game. I mean, out of the 3 games of the series, they played the best in the game they lost.
Good point. We'll talk about that in a second. Last thing I wanted to point out for the Rockies, I thought they were a pretty scrappy, pesky bunch. I mean, this team's not going to be very good, but I like some of their at-bats, even against Pepiot. Tovar was 2 for 4. Ryan McMahon was 3 for 3, and also drew a walk. Chris Bryant looks fucking terrible. I don't think he had a hit in the entire series. And then some guy named Goodman was 2 for 4. So That was also the game, Drew. I believe each team had an error. I thought Junior was a little sloppy to start at third, but both teams, I mean, I guess they're kind of getting acclimated with this new field. The Rays don't even have a lot of familiarity with it, obviously, even though it's a home game. But like some, the ball bounced a little weird off the clay or whatever it is. So, and I was also surprised that there weren't as many home runs hit as I kind of expected there to be.
There was a total of 3 home runs hit the entire series. The Rays hit 2 and the Rockies hit 1.
So what I was told today is that the wind was blowing in, and the wind's going to be a big factor there because it's a
wasn't that windy though?
Well, it wasn't that windy except for, yeah, you're right. Today is supposed to be really windy, if you care.
Maybe a little bit of a factor today, but I don't think the wind was a significant enough factor to limit the home run damage.
So the Rockies were up in this game 2-0. The Rays come back when they pulled Freeland after 67 pitches, which is absurd. The guy that comes in after that gives up 3 hits, 2 earned runs. The Rays win this game 3-2. They were minus 210, 200 total. Obviously, the game goes under. Following game 2 in the series on Saturday, you had Littell going against Senzatella. Drew, you texted me. You said, you said Littell pitched his ass off.
I thought he looked all 3 pitchers pitched great, but I thought out of the 3 he looked the best. He had the most dominant stuff. I think he gave the least amount of hits. Was it only like 4 hits he gave up?
Yep. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 7 Ks. That's really good for Zach.
Yeah.
Really good.
And
Zach,
he took the loss. It's brutal.
That is brutal. Zach, correct me if I'm wrong. Last year he kind of started slow, but then he started coming on late.
He's never been a starter before.
Oh, he's never been a starter.
Never been a starter. He's a career relief pitcher that the Rays pick up. They kind of molded him into a guy who would come in if a starter wasn't pitching well to come in and pitch 2 or 3 innings, kind of be extended relief. He did a good job with that. So he said, oh, maybe we'll try this guy as a starter. And so he was kind of a slow buildup and ended up having a real nice season for the Rays.
Yeah. Okay. So that's great to see. And he was, I guess, talked about as being the trade piece last year and also potentially this year if everybody was healthy, talking about Shane McClanahan. Takeaway from this game, Drew, I don't know how you feel about Clevenger, but I think you and I are really high on Clevenger as one of our relievers. He's the guy who came in, he gave up 2 hits, and the earned run. How'd you feel about his showing?
I mean, listen, a reliever is going to give up a run every now and then.
I know, but it's right out of the game with the Rockies after Littell. I'm just saying.
I mean, he did fine. Okay. The pitching was fine. I mean, it's a problem when you're scrapping to score 2-3 runs against the Rockies. You're going to be in big trouble long term if you're expecting to beat the Rockies 2-1 every day. So I have nothing bad to say about any of the pitchers. That game on Saturday has some crazy historic stats from it. What was the name of the Rockies pitcher at the start of that day again?
Senzatella. He had this was a stat line: 4 1/3, 9 hits, 2 walks, 0
Ks. 0 Ks.
0 Ks.
Yeah. That hadn't been done since 1922. That a starting pitcher pitched at least 4 innings, gave up 9+ hits, and struck 0 people out and gave up 0 in runs. That hasn't happened in over 100 years.
Looking at the guys in the Rays lineup,
everybody hit. They did everything besides score. Everybody
was 0 for 5, Drew.
Who was?
Yandy.
That was the game, though, where he could have had like 3 hits.
Yep. The Rockies were making great plays defensively. Diving in the outfield.
The defense was excellent. They made every play.
Yeah. I'm telling you, they're a scrappy team. I got them today, first 5 against the Phillies, +0.5. Okay, so Yandy was 0 for 5, but Bilau was 2 for 5. Junior 3 for 5. Aranda looked
These
great.
plays look great. Aranda's looked great. I had him as my most improved player. That's off to a good start just because this is the first time I've seen him. You know, he's been a player. He's been in AAA. He's been in the majors, back and forth. He looks confident. He looks like he's ready to be a full-time major league player. So that's a good sign.
You worried about his defense?
I thought he played fine at first base.
I thought so too. I just remember that was kind of the knock on him coming out. Morel had a nice game. He was 2 for 2. He had a run, 2 walks.
I think he was at the game. He had an amazing defensive play too.
Yep.
In left field.
Yep.
He's been a nice surprise. He's been looking good.
Misner again was 2 for 4. I think Cameron Misner looks great at the plate. I mean, I just think he is intimidating. He's towering. He's kind of imposing. And when he turns on the ball, Big lefty. I love what I've seen from Misner. So I hope
You
he
need lefties in the lineup, so I expect him to stick around for sure.
Taylor Wall's 1 for 3 with the only RBI, and he also drew a walk. So okay, in that game, again, the Rays had 12 hits, only 1 run, and lost. They left 12 guys on base. All right, and then game 3. So the series is 1-1. The Rays bats come to life a little bit. Got 9 hits, got 6 runs. Big Rockies error. They had 9 hits too, only 4 runs. The Rays win 6-4. Pete Fairbanks with his first save of the year. Did make it a little interesting, though, I'll tell you.
Yeah, Scott, first and third made you sweat a little bit. I texted you. I thought Edwin Uceda should have stayed in the game just because he didn't even sweat in the 8th. But whatever, got the save. It's over and done with.
Uceda looked great. Fairbanks, 2 hits allowed, 2 Ks, 20 pitches. Don't love to see it get that sweaty. Taj, though, it was Taj Day. Everybody knows I love Taj Bradley. You love Taj Bradley, too. Maybe I'm a little bit higher on him than I should be. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned, 7 Ks. I thought overall it was a very solid start from Taj. You'd have to say that I would assume you came away impressed as well.
Well, I mean, what our starters, all 3 of them went 6 innings, and all of them gave up 2 runs or less.
Yep. Kelly came in right after, and so back-to-back Clevenger and Kelly coming in right after the starters. 2 hits, 2 earned runs allowed. Give up a home run.
Give up a home run.
And let's see, did he give it up to McMahon? No, McMahon went 0 for 4 in this game. Who had the homer? Mickey Moniak. Guy from the
it was with 2 outs, too. It looked like he was going to get out of it because I think they had a guy on third base with 2 outs and he gave up a bomb. But whatever. I mean, listen, it's going to happen. You can't expect to win games 3-0, 3-1.
Martini was 3 for 4 for the Rockies. So overall, the bats for the Rays, Drew, would you say you were impressed? I mean, I'm just going to go through it real quick. 7 hits game 1, 12 hits game 2. That's 19, 9 hits in game 3. 28.
Not impressed because they didn't score many runs. I mean, if you put that series on in front of me, and I didn't know, what time or day it was, I would have thought I was watching the 2024 Rays. Because the 2024 Rays were kind of the same story where they would, get a decent amount of hits, but they just can't advance anybody. And it ultimately comes down to it's just a lack of power. The team just doesn't have much power outside of Brandon Lau. Not a lot of power. And that's going to be a concern just because getting a bunch of blue hits, it doesn't do much for you, unfortunately.
Yeah, good point. What would you say? So Curtis Meade, unfortunately, let us down with his showing in the lineup, leading off to 0 for 4.
I mean, I think the biggest takeaway for this weekend is the 2 guys that we had as our team MVPs. You had Curtis Meade, which is just beyond ridiculous. And I had Josh Lau, who's now on the IL. So we both look like complete morons. I mean, really, the biggest takeaway from the 3-game series is forget the wins and losses. We're talking about the start of the season. Is Josh Lau's already hurt, and he has a more serious oblique injury than last year, because when he had this injury last year, he missed 6 weeks. And this is evidently more serious. So he's going to be gone, I mean, probably until July.
Yeah, it's brutal. I have high expectations for Josh Lau coming into the year. You said he's your MVP. I even bet his over RBIs, so that's probably toast, 64.5. Don't know how
he's going to get to it. How's he going to get to it?
Yandy had some really good at bats in games 1 and game 2. I was not impressed with his some of his ABs in game 3.
A little surprised that Yandy was DH all 3 days. I've never really seen him do that. I understand, wanting to get Yandy off his feet, but a little surprised that Cash should have him play first base at all. Be curious to see if he plays first at all the next few days.
What do you think the reason is behind that?
I mean, I think the bigger question I have is why the hell was Junior Caminero not playing yesterday? That is really weird.
Did Cash say anything in his press conference?
I didn't watch it. But I didn't see like any clips on people who follow the team, repost it. I can't think of a single reason why a 21-year-old would already need a rest day on day 3 of the season when it's not even hot yet. So he did come in and pinch hit, but after he pinch hit, he didn't stay in the game. That's very bizarre that Junior Caminero is your top prospect was already given a day off 3 days into the season. Makes no sense. Cabby played great. Yeah.
Played great. He looked like he got hurt for a second, but he was just winded.
I think he was just winded. I don't know if you were watching closely, but he kept running back and forth between first and second. And he was just out of breath.
Yep. So I look, some good takeaways from the Rays overall. Not getting the runs is very, very concerning. But I think I loved what I saw from Morel for the most part. I really liked what I saw from the young guy Kisner. And I got to tell you, even Bilal, I thought he had some really, really good ABs. I thought he looked, listen, if people aren't familiar, Brandon Lau is just we're so hot and cold on him. Like you and I, if people could see our text messages, sometimes we treat him like he's our favorite Ray of all times, and others we want him traded yesterday. But coming out of the gate, first series, I like the body language. And my biggest takeaway too that I love so much is, with guys like Taylor Walls and even Josh Lau or, Yandy's kind of a tough, little bit of a stoic guy, and Bilal, you don't have a lot of enthusiasm and excitement and emotion. Junior Caminero gives you that. Whether he's hitting a double or making good defensive play, or he's in the dugout and somebody else makes a play. Junior seems like the heart and soul emotion guy in there, which I absolutely love.
Palacios is kind of like that too. So it'll be a good boost once they get him back. He has a very minor injury, so he should be back in a week or two. Richie Palacios.
Oh, Palacios is great. Yep. Love him. He's a dog. All right. So quick preview. If you want to touch on, they've got the Pirates coming into town. Is it a 3-game series?
Yep, you got 2 night games and then an afternoon game on Wednesday. You could pull up what the line is right now. I'm pretty sure it opened at minus 165, and I saw earlier it's up to minus 220, which I think is crazy.
Let me see.
So people must be hammering the Rays tonight. I'm going to be in that camp, but I mean, there has to be maybe some reason behind it that I'm not understanding.
Well, we don't have to talk about it too much because I wanted to get your thoughts overall on the other teams in baseball. But in this particular game, Raz going first start. I'm going to go with the Rays first 5. I'm going to back him. Madzinski, it's a bullpen day for the Pirates. As long as the Rays aren't seeing a lefty, I'm okay backing the Rays because
I'm just a little hesitant. This is the first time Drew is starting a game in almost 700 days because he missed he had Tommy John surgery. He came back late last season as a reliever. So this is going to be his first start in almost 700 days, 690 days to be exact. So, laying minus 220 on a guy who hasn't started a baseball game in 2 years is a little scary. I don't care who you're playing.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is a little scary. I don't understand. I mean, are people just fading the Pirates on a bullpen day, perhaps?
I mean, they did just lose 3 out of 4 to the Marlins.
Yeah, in walk-off fashion, though. I mean, it's not like they got their ass kicked and embarrassed like the Twins are right now, 8-0 to the White Sox.
Right, but I mean, the Marlins, many people thought were a AAA team at best.
Sure, you're right. Okay, well, the Rays, look, if the Rays are minus 200, I never think it's a good idea to bet them, even on the run line. I think you're always, and you agree, always advocate for taking the opposite team, maybe plus 1.5, because it's going to be a grinder of a game, and they don't really look like they're going to score many runs. The wind is blowing out today, so we'll see if we can get some hits.
Wait till you see the lineup being posted, because Cash does wacky stuff with as we saw yesterday with Junior randomly getting a day off. I'm expecting something weird again tonight, either a Bilal or a Yandy rest day. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at the expected lineup: Yandy, Bilal, Junior, Aranda, Morel. I mean, I'll attack Cameron Misner again, lefty against, if it's a righty, this guy Madzinski that's coming in again. It's just a bullpen guy. Didn't love what I saw from Danny Jansen at the plate. How about you?
No, I mean, all 3 games, Rortfred didn't get a hit either, so we're still missing a hit from a catcher. So same old Rays in a lot of ways. I'm a little bummed out because the projected matchup was supposed to be Boz versus Skeens tomorrow. And then all of a sudden, the Pirates, they switched it up to a bullpen day today. So Skeens is now pitching Wednesday afternoon.
Skeens is pitching Wednesday afternoon?
Yeah, it was originally supposed to be him versus Boz Tuesday night. And now he's projected to go Wednesday afternoon against Pep.
Okay.
Also a little surprised. Aren't you a little surprised that Shane Boz is our number 5 in the rotation?
Yes.
That's strange.
I would have
not expecting Zach Littell to be number 2 in the rotation.
No. I mean, do you think there's a reason?
Well, I mean, so far, I thought he looked the best out of any of the 3 guys. All 3 guys look good, but he looked damn good. So I don't know. Maybe they know something that we don't. But I was not anticipating Zach Littell being our number 2 starter.
How do you feel about me betting on Shane Baz? Okay, so maybe not betting on. I might take the Rays first 5. I just have a feeling. But I'm not going to take any pitcher props. How do you feel about betting on Shane in his first start?
Yeah, I told you he's my
favorite
Cy Young going into the season. I love his stuff. I think he's got overpowering stuff. So yeah, I would certainly roll with that.
Do you like him as a
strikeout? Than tonight with Ross, meaning that Drew hasn't started a game in 2 years.
Would you say for Baz, do you like strikeouts or
strikeouts?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got nasty stuff. All right, so Drew, let's talk about the AL East. Who were you? I mean, the Yankees. Do we need to be shitting our pants or not really?
No, I'm tired of already hearing about the torpedo bats. I mean, like, is anybody could it possibly just be that, Nestor and and Savali are just dog shit. They're just two fat guys who are past their prime that do not belong in a starting rotation, especially the top half of a starting rotation. I understand the Brewers got some starters out, but I mean, not a good sign for their upcoming season. But listen, it's good for baseball that the Yankees did that. I hope they keep hitting home runs, keep a buzz flowing. I mean, I saw even Dave Portnoy, made a video tweet about it. I mean, the guy probably hasn't watched a baseball game since last time the Red Sox won the World Series. So please, get the publicity going. I want as much baseball publicity as possible. So, hopefully the Yankees keep hitting home runs. I don't think they could use as many torpedo bats as they want, but when they come down to Steinbrenner Field and they're going against Shane Baz and Pep and Edwin Uceda, I don't think you're going to be seeing that happen.
Love this shit talk. Orioles and Blue Jays was a pretty fun series. I actually got involved.
Blue Jays played better than probably most people thought.
That's what I want to talk about, Drew. So coming into the season, I've had a soft spot for the Blue Jays for the past couple of years. I've taken them to win the division. I've taken their win total. I've taken some player props. I had Barrios over wins last year, which hit. I had Varsho over home runs, which did not. But I'm just sick of the Blue Jays because they have this talent. They should be great, and they're not. Whether it's the front office, the coaching, just the actual players like George Springer maybe being washed. I don't really know, but I have Blue Jays fatigue. A lot of smart people coming into the year like the Blue Jays over their win total, like them to have a pretty good year. I was apprehensive and I got involved. So I faded the Blue Jays. I believe it was. So I bet on the Blue Jays in game 1 of the series. I bet over their team total 3.5. They had 2 runs because they had 3 hits and 2 runs from fucking against Zach Eflin.
Eflin pitched well.
Eflin pitched great. So the following game, I said, screw it. I'm going to take the Orioles, even with Charlie Morton pitching. Bad idea. Then
don't bet on pitchers that are 40 plus years old. Just don't do it.
You're absolutely right. Don't bet on quarterbacks who are 40 plus years old coming off an Achilles injury. I won't take the Jets to win the Super Bowl anymore with Aaron Rodgers as quarterback.
Maybe taking the Steelers, though.
No, I'm not going to do that again. Game 3, I got my lick back. I took the Orioles again. They were a plus price. Not Chris Bassett. I forget who was pitching for the Blue Jays. Do you remember who's their third guy? Gosman. And I forget who pitched for the Orioles. Maybe it was Dean Kramer or something like that. But regardless, Orioles go 2-1. And then game 4, the Blue Jays had a grinder of a win. And this was un-Blue Jay-like, in my opinion. They get down. They came back multiple times in this series. The Orioles got an early lead, but the Blue Jays grinded back. Chris Bassett, apparently this is just what he does. The Orioles had 9 hits and only 1 run. Very Rays-like from what we
Zach Littell-like.
Yep, right. So, but apparently I was texting one of a Blue Jays fan on Twitter, and he said this is a typical Bassett game. And the Blue Jays win 2-2. I got to tell you, I don't take away anything from the Orioles necessarily. I bet on the Orioles today against the Red Sox. We'll talk about them in a second. Drew, I think the Blue Jays might be a little scrappy this year.
I think I take more away actually on the Orioles from that series, being that I think outside of Eflin, I don't think any of their starters went 6 innings. So what you really got to be concerned about the Orioles long-term is if your starters are not giving you 6 innings consistently, I don't care how good your bullpen is, you're going to wear them out. It's going to be a really, really long summer if Zach Eflin is going to be your only reliable starting pitcher that could give you 6 innings. So I think that's really concerning for the Orioles.
Very good point. We'll keep an eye on that. Cade Povich is going today against the Red Sox. That is 0-0.
Max Scherzer already on the IL.
Oh my gosh, no way.
Yes.
So he hurt his thumb in the 3rd inning.
Yeah. He's already on the IL. Don't know how long he's going to be out.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Your 40-plus-year-old starters in this series, Charlie Morton, he lasted 3 innings. He was getting bombed for the O's, and Max Scherzer immediately got hurt and will be out who knows how long. So
as of right now, when you look at the division as a whole, the Rays certainly have the pitching advantage.
Oh, yeah. They're by far the best pitching in the division. It's not close.
All right. Last team, Drew. Let's talk about the Red Sox. So the Red Sox had a series in Texas. They lost. They are 1-3. They're in Baltimore today. I can't remember the starter that they beat in this series. I don't know if you do, but they lost the last game 3-2. And
they're all tight games, I believe.
Oh, I'm looking right here. I'm sorry. They won the first game of the series 5-2, lost 4-1, lost 4-3, lost 3-2. Very tight games. They all went to the under. Yeah. The big story out of this one is
Devers for sure.
Yeah. Devers is. Do you know his exact stat line as of right now?
I think it's 0 for 16 in 12 Ks. I think.
That's absolutely insane. He's got a walk today, by the way. The bright spot for this team is Wilmer Abreu. I
Yeah,
don't know
he's
if
a
I said
beast.
it.
Yeah, he finished last year really strong.
Wilyer Abreu. This guy is a 25-year-old lefty from Venezuela. He has been excellent. But what's your takeaway from the Red Sox? You think they're going to be okay? Would you buy low
Yeah.
or no?
Yeah, I mean, you're not too worried about going to Houston, losing 3 out of 4. I mean, there's nothing to be ashamed about that. They played well in all those games. They could have won any of those games. The big question is going to be what's going to happen with Devers. Obviously, something is going on mentally. And, listen, guys can go 0 for 16. That we're seeing with Yandy Diaz. I think Yandy Diaz is 2 for 15 to start the season. But, I mean, completely different at-bats. I mean, Yandy, I don't know if he has any strikeouts, maybe 1 or 2 at most. Devers, 12 Ks, very bizarre. Very, very bizarre. I can't imagine there's anybody else in Major League Baseball who's already struck out 12 times.
Do you think that this is attributed to him? I'm not going to say he's doing it intentionally.
No.
But
I don't think he's doing it intentionally either. But listen, I mean, he's been like the go-to guy for the Red Sox for 5+ years. He's been their third baseman for how many years? And then all of a sudden, in the middle of spring training, they make the signing, and that's taken away from you. I mean, that's got to fuck with you mentally a little bit, don't you think?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, trouble in paradise. I mean, if he doesn't get out of a funk, you got to think the Red Sox are probably thinking about trading him.
Well, you rarely see trades happen in April in baseball.
Yeah,
no matter how bad things go, no matter how
right.
good things look, you just rarely see anything happening until you get close to June. So, I mean, we're going to have to see this play out. And he also might be adjusting a little bit. There's something to be said for a guy who's never really DH'd before. It's kind of a different mindset. You know what I mean? Like when you're playing defense, you're not even really thinking about hitting. You're just kind of in the grind of the game, defense. And before you know it, you got a bat in your hand. Whereas when you're DHing, you're just sitting on the bench watching the game, and then it's your turn to hit. So, like, he might just be mentally fucking himself, just thinking too much. So I'd expect him to adjust. I mean, he's a great player.
Other notable takeaways from the weekend in baseball: the Braves are 0-4. Padres,
right? But I mean, all kind of tight games.
Yes, they did. They got 1 hit yesterday against Nick Pivetta, which was. I thought
Padres are loaded.
Padres are loaded. I might get in on the Padres.
Yeah, they're loaded. So I mean, I know the Dodgers have an all-world team, but Padres are not going to be an easy out for them. I feel bad for the Rockies, knowing that they're going to have to play the Padres and Dodgers a million times this season. It just doesn't seem fair. Even the Diamondbacks are a damn good team.
Yep.
NL West is by far the best division in baseball.
Yep. ALE second.
Yeah, but I think the NL West is better.
Yeah, I would agree. I might get involved in the Padres either with a in-season win total or not to win the division. I don't even know about winning the World Series. But maybe
as a Rays fan, you got to be happy being in the AL just because like the NL is so top heavy. I mean, like the Padres are scary, the Dodgers are scary, the Mets are probably going to be scary, the Phillies are scary. Who scares you in the AL?
Who scares you in the AL? I don't know. That's a really good question. You know what? The teams that should scare you are probably teams that are kind of slept on, like the Rangers and the Astros.
I was going to say the Rangers. I think the Rangers are going to have a big bounce back season. They have a little bit of a World Series hangover, but their lineup is nasty. They got so many good hitters.
It's filthy.
Yeah.
It is absolutely filthy.
So
yeah.
They're not being talked about enough. I would have them as probably the favorite to win the AL this year.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, them and the Diamondbacks were 2 teams that were pretty popular over their win total. It was 85.5, I think, or something like that. But that was it. Like nobody really talked about them winning the World Series or anything. Yeah, I looked at their lineup. It was absolutely filthy. And Adolis Garcia is back with a 4-30.
They have no holes in the lineup. I think after we play the Pirates, can you check? I think we go to Texas actually and play the Rangers.
I can check. Also, the last thing I want to talk about, Drew, and then we'll wrap it up here. The Mariners ended the series against the Athletics 2 for 2. But I just want to point something out.
A's are good.
The A's are good. That was a scrappy 2-2 series. However, this is a problem with the Mariners. They won 4-2. Randy Arozarena had a home run. They lost 7-0. They won 4-2. They won 2-1. This team cannot score runs. They don't have an offense.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of the Northwest version of the Rays a little bit.
That's a great way to put it. But I thought something might have been different. I don't really know why.
Did Randy have any hits besides a home run?
I
don't think he got a hit besides that home run.
Let me check for you. Randy is 1 for 12.
Yeah, he had that nice home run.
1 RBI. Yeah, he's batting 83. Oh my God.
I love Randy Arozarena, but I think the Rays got ties at the right time.
You do?
Yeah, I think so. I think his best days are behind him.
Yeah, you might be right. Jorge Polanco was their shining star, 5 for 10 at the plate, and then Julio Rodriguez just 2 for 12.
Jeffrey Springs looked great. He was dealing.
Yeah, 9Ks. 9Ks.
I
My
think
God.
the winners and the losers of the weekend, and for me, for MLB starting the season, by far the biggest loser is the Twins. I know you got multiple teams that haven't won a game yet, but they had by far the most embarrassing showing. And I think that they were a team that really needs to start the season well, considering how awful they ended last season. Do you remember how they ended last season? They just completely collapsed in September. It looked like going into September, they had a wild card spot at minimum wrapped up, maybe even in the division. And the team completely shit their pants to end the season. I thought for sure Rocco Baldelli was going to get fired.
Yeah,
He didn't.
that's
He
right.
survived the season. He survived. And now you start your season getting swept, and none of the games were even competitive. Not encouraging.
Very good point. Very good point. No, I actually forgot how they ended the season, but I've never been a big Twins guy. I bet on them early in the season last year. God, there was some pathetic loser. I don't know, not Louis Armstrong. There was just Louis Varland. That's who it was, his pitcher. And he sucked. I didn't like their team. I didn't like their moxie. And then they kind of made a little bit of a run. And then, I forgot they kind of fell flat at the end. I'm out on the Twins. That's why I bet against them today with the White Sox. So the Rays, yes, you asked about it. They play the Pirates Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They have an off day. Then they go to Texas. They're at Texas Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We have some friends in Texas who are going to the game, the Book It crew, Trent and Jovan. DeGrom against Taj Bradley, Drew, Saturday, April 5th at 7 o'clock. Unfortunately, I can't be there. That would have been fun to go to, but that's going to be awesome.
I'm just glad DeGrom's going to make it to the start. I figured he might already be hurt by now.
By the way, Skeens is now going against Pepe.
Wednesday. Well, listen, the Rays, they need to win. They need to win tonight and Tuesday, because Wednesday, probably not going to win, and then you get a tough series in Texas where you may only take one out of that series. So yeah, they really need to win tonight and tomorrow.
Yep. Okay, I couldn't agree more. Drew, perfect. 31 minutes. Rays Glaze episode 2. This was great. Rays got to win today and tomorrow. I feel pretty good about it. I'm going to put my money on
today and tomorrow. Obviously, I mean, you're not punting on Pepio pitching Wednesday, but you're not going to hold your breath in that game. So they need to take care of business these 2 games. That way, if they do that, they're 4-2 going into Texas. Not bad.
Not bad at all. All right, Rays 2-1. 161-1 is still possible.
Want to see a catcher get a hit soon. Let's see a catcher get any type of base hit, please.
Yep, I'm with you. Catcher get a hit. And
Curtis Mead get a hit.
Curtis Mead get it. I don't even Curtis Mead. Did he already get sent down?
not yet. I think you have to give Curtis at least a few weeks. I mean, I'm not done on that. It was depressing. What was it in game 2? He had the last at bat to do something, and he had a little bloop. And I think his prior at bat was a double play. So it's been a rough go for Curtis.
Bases were juiced.
He needs confidence, man. Yes. Like he needs like the confidence isn't there. He needs like something really good to happen, and maybe he could get rolling.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. All right, Drew. Thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in to the Rays Glaze. Let's go Rays. We'll recap again maybe after the Rangers or the Pirates series.
Sounds good.
Check you later.